It appears that worldwide atheists outnumber Christians, atheists outnumber Muslims. How many people out there, if you're a Christian or a Muslim or a Jew, how many people out there are 100% convinced that there's a God? 100%. That's a true believer. And that, in order for me to be 100% true, I feel like at this point in my life, I'd actually have to meet God face to face. And then I would likely be a 100% true believer. You're a Muslim or a Christian or a Jew, and you have some doubt, which most people do, about whether or not there's a God. What percentage of you believes there's a God, and what percentage of you believes there isn't a God? That part within you, let's say it's 30%. Because in order for us to have a struggle in ourselves about whether or not there's a God, it has to be a pretty substantial percentage. Because if I was 95% sure of anything, I'd be in pretty good shape. 95% sure my car was going to make it for the next 10 years. 95% sure I was going to live a healthy life. Statistically speaking, I'd be in pretty good shape. But I think it's got to be a pretty high percentage that has people second-guessing their own faith. So I'm going to go out on a limb and say that most religious people have 33% of their psyche doubts their faith. That's just I'm going to go with this number. Which means if you were to take any three Christians or any three Muslims together, within these three, if they each had 33% doubt, the three of them together would make one whole atheist. Amongst every million religious people, there's 1/3 of a million of atheists, not counting all the people who declare themselves atheists. Those atheists, are they 100% sure there's no God? No. Very few of them would be 100% sure there's no God. So they have to have a percentage of their psyche, a percentage of faith living in them. Maybe they won't call it faith, but their doubt of their atheism would actually be a belief in God. So if you're an atheist and you're not 100% sure there's no God, that part that isn't sure, that must be God. That must actually be faith living in atheists. So atheists have faith living in them. The faithful have atheism living in them, and all to different degrees. I think it's like a lightning bolt. Because some days I wake up, I believe there's a God. Some days I wake up, I believe there's not a God. But we choose to identify ourselves. So if someone says I'm an atheist, what they're saying isn't that I'm an atheist all day. Maybe some of them are saying that, but it's choosing an identity for yourself. So a religious person can have a doubtful day, and an atheist can have a faithful day. I bet you there could be an atheist and a theist arguing. And in the middle of their argument, the theist could be as much an atheist as the atheist is a theist. As one's disbelief is increasing, the other's belief is decreasing, and as their lightning bolts go back and forth, they meet each other. And for that moment, the theist and the atheist have the exact same percentage belief that there's a God. Yet they think they have nothing in common. One man is 50% sure he's an atheist. The other man's 50% sure he's a theist. At any given day, the atheist and the theist share exactly the same view on God. They both believe there's a 50-50 chance, but it goes down to identity. One has identified himself as a theist, and the other has identified himself as an atheist. When in fact there's so much that they have in common, because doubt is an inherent part of our existence. And here's why I go like a lightning bolt about my theism, about my belief, because I start wondering, first intellectually I think, there couldn't be a God. I'm just way too cynical to believe there's a God. But then I think about, why is it that it seems to be hardwired in us to seek out faith? There is something there. And the something from nothing concept. Look at all these things. Look at this pen, built out of dirt. Kind of funny, huh? And that's just a pen. You go to a salad bar, come on. If we were to take all the people in the world and we were to take all of their collective doubt of faith and pack it all together, it would outnumber any religion. Because atheism lives in the heart of most religious people. Theism lives in the heart of most unreligious people, most atheists. And I think it has to do more with how we've chosen to identify ourselves. Glass empty, glass full, theism, atheism. And I'm not saying one is full or one is empty. Although if I had to choose who the glass full and who the glass empty people were, I would say that the theist would be the glass full person. Because there's something very hopeful about theism, I think, and something very cynical about atheism. I don't know. Let me know what you think.